Comrades, we're all aware of the increasing cost of living in the first world due to the ongoing crisis of capitalism. However, this story is just it's crazy. An energy company in the UK called Frist Utilities is saying they're raising their rates 18%. The cost of energy for these about 120,000 customers of that company is going up 18%. Obviously, this is a dramatic rise in the cost of living for working and poor people. Now, this energy company does sympathize with them and has come up with a collection of tips to help their customers get through this difficult time of increased energy costs. The company is suggesting an energy diet where the customers would essentially turn off all their lights for 2 days a week. Turn off all their lights for 2 days a week. Now, on top of that, they also suggest turning off the television and not using it during that time. Instead, play board games or do something else. The other 5 days of the week, they suggest, yes, go ahead and use energy like you normally would. The company also suggests using a microwave to cook meals instead of the traditional stove in order to save a further amount of energy. These combined should save, what they said, about maybe 150 pounds a year. Believe it or not, their suggestions actually get even stranger. They suggest that family members bathe together in order to save additional money for heating. Like, in other words, to use less hot water. That's where the first world is now, at the point where people have to start sharing showers. Is that how high the cost of energy is getting in the UK? And their final suggestion is that people in the UK, these 120,000 customers, cut back on hot drinks, at least 2 of these hot drinks a week. By hot drinks, of course, in the UK, this means tea. The very, almost seems to me, sacred institution of tea drinking in the UK, one of the iconic symbols of the British people, needs to be cut back on in order to save energy. Clearly what we can see here is a building crisis within the first world. These kinds of measures are something that the middle class in the developing world have to do. These are things that, if you even have energy in the third world, are things that you have to do. Think about it. These measures, which were once reserved for the poorest of the world, are now starting to appear in the first world as well. This certainly does indicate that there is a growing problem of crisis in capitalism, and that we are not coming out of the crisis as we have been previously told. Now, there's just one more thing I want to talk about in regards to this situation. The media, the shadow energy minister of the government, is saying how this is going too far, and this is a symptom of a larger problem, that this is not right, that the people of the UK, even though it is only a section of about 120,000, shouldn't have to be going through this. And there are other situations like this where energy is going up across the UK. They're all saying that this is going too far, this is wrong, and that this is a crime. So some have even used the word crime against citizens of the UK. Now let's go to the other side of the planet. Let's go to the DPRK, where they have to take extreme measures in order to conserve energy, because the global imperialist system is literally preventing them from purchasing it. Countries refuse to sell oil to the country and other fuel resources. So they have to go to these extreme measures because someone is preventing them from purchasing them. And then it's like, oh, look how dark the DPRK is. Oh, there's no lights on at night, or criticizing some places for not having heat. So you're telling me it's a crime that white first worlders have to make these cuts, and these cuts are bizarre cuts, in order to keep the cost of energy down, and this is a crime, and this is this is something that shouldn't be happening. Yet when this is forced on the people of the DPRK by other countries' imperialist powers, they laugh at them and criticize them and say, look, socialism doesn't work. So yeah, let me get this straight. Capitalism is literally failing to get enough energy to meet the needs, well, not the needs, the wants of first world peoples, and that's a crime. Nobody seems to be criticizing capitalism over that. Yet, these same capitalist forces prevent the DPRK from getting enough energy, and they laugh at them. Oh, poor first world people, but, you know, haha, poor people in the third world. It's really, really interesting when we sit back and take a look at it in this context. I think we begin to see a little bit more of the intense prejudice that exists within the media, and the sometimes baffling attempt at logic by people who hate the DPRK. Thank you for watching. Go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, share on various social media. If you want, there's some other great content here you could check out.